Okay. All right. So it doesn't really matter. We are going to be, how we are going to go about this session is have loads of conversations, and it doesn't really matter if you have or haven't attended. Of course, if you have, there's a layering of understanding, but it's all right. It's all right. It's perfect. We'll take it up from the start. I was just, also, we're calling this, let me just share the screen first, okay? 1 second. All right. So we're calling this as a series on conscious parenting, and the session's topic is saying yes to no and building resilience, right? So I was just, begin with some conversations and setting the intention for this 1 hour that we are going to be together. So if anybody would like to volunteer and just say what's their understanding on conscious parenting. No answer is right or wrong.
Maybe conscious parenting is about raising ourselves so as to raise our children.
Perfect. And who's this? I can't see the...
I am Kriti.
Kriti. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your answer. And anybody else in the room would like to share their understanding of what conscious parenting is?
Hi, I'm Vasudha.
Hi, Vasudha.
According to me, conscious parenting is something like consciously you are making an effort to understand the child and yourself and making an equilibrium. How we both can have a better relationship, not means to understand her or his and our own thoughts and ideas, and then going ahead according to that.
Great, great. Great. So yes, you both are right, Vasudha and Kriti, that conscious parenting is all about raising our consciousness, being aware, and raising our children from that spot, not out of our conditioning, beliefs, and patterns. So that essentially is conscious parenting, and conscious parenting is all about the parent. Yes, obviously children are included, and it is our relationship with children, but essentially it is all about being that parent. And now that brings us to the next question, which is part of this conversation, which means why resilience? So anybody willing to answer that? Why resilience? Why should we build resilience in our kids or in ourselves? Anybody willing to take a go at it? Again, no right or wrong answers. Yes.
So that we're not so shaken by the world around us, maybe.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is it resilience so that we're not so shaken and victimized by the world around us?
Beautiful. Yes. Yes.
Also, it will make it easier to adapt the changes around. Like we are in an absolute changing world today. So a baby who's born today may be working on a technology which has not yet been invented also 20 years later. So it is going to be a even faster changing world. So as a parent, how can we provide that flexibility in their emotional and mental body both, so that they're little okay with adapting the change and faster with adapting the changes?
Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Thank you for your inputs, Trupti and Shanaz. And yes, we can clearly see how uncertain the times have suddenly become and how unpredictable, how in 2019 also we couldn't have seen what's happening right now. However, the world has always been uncertain and unplanned. It's just that right now we are very, very aware of it. We don't know, in usual language parlance also we keep saying we don't know what's going to happen in the next moment. And yes, resilience builds that muscle in us. That allows us to actually thrive in the world, right? And that is what we are all here for, right? So thank you for your sharings. And now I'd also invite you to tell me, what does saying yes to no mean to you?
By the way, there is also some more comments in the comment section. One person has said that it is an essential life skill that will help us maintain a positive mental state, irrespective of what life throws at us.
Absolutely. And life has this, I think it's better than MS Dhoni in throwing curveballs at us. So, yes, thank you. And what does saying yes to no mean to you? What does this topic mean to you? What do you think we're going to be discussing here or having a conversation on?
Yeah, I'd like to answer that.
Is it
Whenever
more about using positive, proactive vocabulary rather than negative vocabulary?
Okay.
I agree with what she just said. Yes, saying more yes than no, even if one feels that it's not like how I would want it to be. So it's a natural tendency to say no, but to say yes because probably it's right. One has to apply one's mind and not one's heart. It's very difficult, but yeah, that's what I think about it.
Thank you, Kaval and Shanaz again. Thank you so much. We'll stay with this. I'm not going to say what it actually means, and we will, during the course of our conversation today, we will discover what it means, right? So, so it is how to raise our children. That's what we are going to be having a deep dive into. A little bit. It's a small section of being a conscious parent. It's not all of this, but it is just a small bit of being a conscious parent. So, well, let's see. So, there are two sides of the same coin, saying a no and saying a yes. According to me, both are equally important. There are times we have to say no, and there are times we have to say yes. However, we're going to be also talking about how to say a yes. Not only will we teach our children how to say no, right? And say no to this and no to that and everything, but how to also receive a no with equanimity. And how receiving a no and get to actually building the muscle of resilience. So here we go. So we all as parents, are such an expert in saying a no, right? Like saying a no is like heads heaven. So we start saying a no from the minute the child is, kind of responding. No, don't do this. No, don't do that. Even pre-verbal, we are all just saying no, 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 no to so many things. In fact, when I was a new mom, I realized this. My mother-in-law pointed out to me, how many times am I saying no to my small little one? Huh? He was very, very small. Even then,
Good morning, ma'am.
good morning. Most of my conversations were around saying no. And I actually, after that, sat and counted. He was such a small baby, and I had probably said no 35 to 40 times, even before, this was his pre verbal stage. Also, when we are, so I'm not going to be age specific in this conversation today, but yes, also when we are parenting out of authority, when we say things like, no, you don't have to do this, and the little one will ask you, why? Do you say, because I said so? Little one or teen or whatever, the age is not the criteria here in this conversation. Or we will say, you don't know, I know better. Or we will say, do as I ask, because I'm a parent. What we are being is actually an authoritarian. and we are speaking because probably we are bigger than them right now, and we can actually, I don't want to use the word bully, but yes, we can influence them. And that is one thing that we continuously keep giving our children. Also, did you realize we are equally experts in not receiving a no gracefully? We are also experts in not receiving a no. We are experts in giving it, and we are experts in receiving it. So we will yell if we have asked.
वो वही दिख रहे थे हम तो.
I request you to keep your mics on mute. Thank you.
Thank you. So how do we usually react when our children say no to whatever it is that we are offering them? We will yell at them, we will tell them okay, and we will sell them. We will sell our idea mostly till the time we have succeeded. We will label them as rebels if they are not conforming to what we think they should be, right? Like they are our children, they are supposed to be our possessions. That's the first rule of conscious parenting, by the way, that we understand the sovereignty and individuality of the other person, but we don't sometimes see that. We feel they are mine, I love them, and that's why they should do what I'm asking them to do. Sanjana, can you please mute yourself? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Anubha, what I'm going to do is I'm muting all the participants. Just unmute yourself right now. Later on, if there's a discussion required, we'll give them the possibility to unmute.
Right. Can you hear me? Perfect. So what we are actually trying to sometimes do is bring up or raise a child of our dreams. Does it really happen? I mean, even after yelling and telling and selling them our ideas or our way of living, is it really succeeding? That is the question that we need to keep in our minds and reflect on. Is this method really succeeding? And if they are saying no, if they are saying yes to whatever we are wanting them to do, by the way, we call them very sweet. Oh, this is such a sweet child, and he's such an obedient and listens to parents and respects the elders and all of that. In fact, most teen issues, at least with me, my teen, when he was or a preteen, now it begins early, everything does. When they're going through their own hormonal changes and so much of individuation is happening, right? They are starting to understand at that stage that they are different than their parents. Still 0 to 7, they are just so much into their parents' energy. After that, they start to understand. And then when they start to try to even, tell us that this is not what they like and this is not what they want to do, we start thinking, oh my god, whatever happened to our child? And that's the situation that I was in. I always used to think, oh my god, what happened to him? He was such a sweet, innocent, or ever listening child. What happened? As soon as teen has struck, I mean, suddenly he has changed. But it is just a development. They have started to understand that they are the individuals, and we should respect that. And we all know the trauma of being that good girl or a good boy, right? So many of us, unfortunately, would have suffered that, killed our emotions. It just means that you are suppressing your own emotions and just going ahead with whatever you're being told because you want to be that good girl or that good boy in front of your parents, your teachers, your boss, and it goes on and on, right? So what do we do when we are actually, having conversations like that and not able to take or say or keep on saying no and not able to receive a no? What does it do to the child? It confuses them. We are giving them confusing signals. I'll just share my story here. My son was again very small. I think he was around 8 or 9. By the way, now he's an adult and 18. So he was 9 years of age at that time, and I used to. My sleep cycle was I used to love napping in the afternoon. So I used to tell him, sleep now. Okay, let's sleep, because obviously, I mean, if he's sleeping, I'm more comfortable, right? Like I don't have to take care of him. So I used to tell him to sleep, and then when he was waking up late in the morning, I used to ask him to wake up. One day he just asked me, he said, Mama, what do you mean? Like when I'm sleeping, you want me awake, and when I'm awake, you are asking me to sleep. What is it that you want? I mean, that question really made me pause, right? What is it that I want really? I wanted him. I mean, when I dived into it, I realized that, what am I even doing? I just want his cycle, his natural cycle of sleep and awake also to be tuned to me, and not seeing that he's an individual. I mean, that was such a confusing signal that I was sending out to him. In fact, if you will pause, your children keep telling you all the time how they want to be raised. Are we ready to listen? That's a question that we need to really reflect on. Also, what does this good child, good girl really do to the kids? Makes them constantly seek validation from outside. They're constantly living out of others' expectations. They become poor decision makers because they have always been told from outside in, do this, now do that. We have uh, I'm not against structure, but we have like now this class, now that class, now I mean we are the ones deciding most of the times. It also kills their own creativity, their imagination and initiative. Eventually, they become adults who will not want to take their own responsibility or accountability. They will always be in a blame game, because somebody else is making a decision for me. I'm not even responsible for my decision. So how do I really become a mature person who is able to understand that my decisions will have consequences, good or bad, right? We also start to avoid our own emotions. Because it doesn't suit mama, I cannot have a small tantrum if I'm not getting to the mall, or if I'm not getting to eat a burger. Mama will say, shush, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. Let's go home and talk. Let's go home. What happens there? We are not able to hold on to our own pain or fears, and we feel, oh God, log kya kahenge, or what is the world going to think about me as a parent, because that's the story is actually running in our head. If you really see, I don't think people care that much about us. But that's how we feel, and that's how quick we are into suppressing the emotions. And above all, I see that the human condition is that we all want to be seen and heard. If we do nothing at all, I'm not going to give any tips or techniques in this conversation or whatever. If I don't do anything, if you don't take away anything else from this conversation, take this. They start to feel not seen and not heard. And that's biggest disservice we are doing to our children. So I'd like to pause. I saw somebody raising the hand earlier, and somebody trying to say something. Is is it that you guys have a question at the moment? I think Sanjana.
If you stop sharing the screen, then we'll be able to see everyone on the.
Right.
Is there anyone who wants to ask a question? Then just put your hand up and I'll try and Sanjana's, okay, I've unmuted her if she wants to say something.
I think she'll need to mute it herself also now.
मैम जो अभी आपने लास्ट में अबव ऑल वाला क्वेश्चन करवाया मैम, वो मुझे थोड़ा समझ नहीं आया मैम, एक और बार समझा दीजिए.
Okay.
Who's that?
तो इसका मतलब होता है कि हम किसी को पूरी तरह से देख नहीं रहे और पूरी तरह से सुन भी नहीं रहे, और हमारी लाइफ में क्या होता है कि वो हमारी सबसे बड़ी रिक्वायरमेंट है, नीड है वो हमारी, कि हमें कोई देखे. जब हम फोन पे बात कर रहे होते हैं और कई सारे काम कर रहे होते हैं और अपने बच्चों से भी बात करना शुरू कर देते हैं उस टाइम पे, तो हमारे बच्चे हमें खुद आके बोलते हैं कि मम्मा आप फोन पे बात कर रहे हो या आप मुझे देख रहे हो या आप मुझसे बात कर रहे हो. तो इसका मतलब सिर्फ यही है कि हम उनको पूरी तरह से नहीं देखते, अपने लाइक्स और डिसलाइक के चश्मे से देखते हैं. हमारे अपनी जो कंडीशनिंग है या अपने जो ख्यालात और बिलीफ हैं उनके थ्रू हम उनको देख रहे हैं. उनका क्या है वो हम देखना भूल जाते हैं और वो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है.
Okay, Anubha, someone else also asked for this thing, Ankit Meher. And we have people from all over the globe, so maybe many people will not understand Hindi.
Hindi, yeah.
Ankit, you can ask your question. You raised your hand.
मैम एक क्वेश्चन है, जैसे हमें पेरेंट लगता है कि हम गाइड नहीं करेंगे बच्चों को तो हमें लगता है कि वो कुछ कर नहीं पाएंगे. जैसे सुबह उठेंगे तो हम बोलेंगे ये करो, पढ़ाई करना है तो ये करो, हम टाइम टेबल बनाते हैं. ये वैलिड है कि दिस वी शुड डू, दिस इज राइट और रॉन्ग?
Okay,
ये
so
ये करो, ये नहीं करो. हमें लगता है कि वो कर नहीं पाएंगे, हम नहीं बताएंगे तो.
ठीक है. So conscious parenting का ये बिल्कुल मतलब नहीं है कि हम उन्हें गाइड नहीं करेंगे या हम उन्हें करेक्ट नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन हम जो भी करेंगे एक बहुत अंडरस्टैंडिंग से करेंगे और अपनी कॉन्शियसनेस से करेंगे और कनेक्शन के साथ करेंगे और एम्पैथी के साथ करेंगे. It doesn't mean that conscious parenting is asking you not to guide your children or not to tell them your values. It is actually something that is value driven. So you have to talk about values. You have to, and it is all within the range of boundaries, right? So we will get to whatever you are asking. You will also get the answer when I start to have further conversation. Shuchi, I think we are also on Facebook, and you will get the recording there. I mean, you can just see it over there. So I'll begin further. Just share the screen yet again. One moment. Yes. So this is what it is. When they start to feel seen and heard, and when you start to see yourself and hear yourself, that is the ultimate and ideal situation, right? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen as a leap. It happens in moment to moment. It's a moment to moment dance. So, well, abhi tak till now we have only spoken about children, and I know some of you may about parents, and some of you may be wondering, wasn't this conversation about how to raise or build resiliency in children, and we have already spoken about parents till now? So, well, it does. It is about us and about them. It is about our relationship. So, what is conscious parents? I like to call them badass. They don't just teach, okay? They teach, but they don't just teach. They model. We have to be the models. We have to be the change that we wish to see in our children. We have to. It does not mean a role model. It just means that we have to model our saying, speaking, thinking, and actions in alignment with each other and model in a way that is inspiring, not influencing. It doesn't mean a role model. Why? Because I'll just take a minute here and say, because role models sometimes become very difficult to reach, right? If we say our role model is Sachin Tendulkar, we forget that, or MS Dhoni, or anybody, Shah Rukh Khan, or whoever it is that you think is your role model. I had to get Shah Rukh Khan in, Leena. So, so if we think they are our role models, we forget to see our ordinariness. And we only feel that we are successful when we reach there. No, it's not that. Success is not that, but that's a different conversation. So what I'm saying is, don't get trapped into a role model idea. Ordinariness and God is in ordinariness, God is in details. So this is the ABC of what was asked by Ankit also. ABC of conscious parenting, which means you're aware of your own self and you accept yourself first fully. Then you have boundaries, right? Like, for example, if for me, my right now I'm having this Zoom conversation, my boundary is that nobody comes and disturbs me. My child does not come, he can wait for an hour, and that's a sacrosanct boundary. Like, I wouldn't want it violated. I don't want him to barge in the room and just ask me for anything. So that's the boundary, right? Where it is non-negotiable. Certain boundaries are flexible, and for example, if I'm giving them a time to sleep, okay, sleep at 8:30. You can be flexible. You can give them a choice, right? Okay, sleep between 8:30 and 9:30. Okay, is that okay? You can even ask them what time would they like to sleep. I'm sure, even if they say 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, and then are able to wake up the next morning, it's really not a cause for conflict. But yes, if you want to inculcate that habit of going to bed early, rising up early, you could just do that. The main and the most important thing is connection. Connect. Sanjana, I'll get to the question later. So connect with compassion, give them choices when you are saying no. So I hope it answers the question that we had right in the beginning, or the understanding that we should say more yes and less no. No is also as sacrosanct as a yes. We cannot keep on being, we cannot keep saying yes to a lot of things that we want to say no. But yes, we can say no, and we can give the choices. And here comes the D of conscious parenting, and that is that it is driven by common sense and respect. If you want to also, if conscious parenting sounds like a huge definition to you, you can just say it is common sense parenting and it is respectful parenting, which means respect for the child. If the child is getting the respect as an individual, you will automatically be respected. There are no two ways about it. So how to say no gracefully? So we keep saying, I have almost covered this by telling you that connect and empathize, explain the logic. Children are the why machines, like little ones. They are the why machines. Why is this happening? Why is that happening? It's only that we get tired of answering them some questions at times and just say, okay, and just give some kind of a story. Give them logic, explain them logic, and they will understand. They are they're really amazing beings, so innocent and so pliable, and they do understand. If you've tried doing this, we know that they understand the logic, and it's actually uh, more likely that your nose will get heard better, and there will be no conflicts in that. So we be the safe space for their expression. If they're having a meltdown, allow it. Allow that meltdown. If it is coming after a no, tell them that you know that, and you understand. If you are not being able to get that favorite toy like your friend has, is because of whatever your reasons may be, or maybe you want to buy it later, maybe you want to make it special and buy it on a birthday. Whatever it is, just be that safe space. Tell them that I understand that you're feeling bad about it. You understand their emotions. Be that safe space that they can come and tell you anything. Then we say, oh, हमारा बच्चा हमें कुछ बताता नहीं, our child doesn't come back and tell us about his day or her day, because they know. And sometimes they will not even come with requests to us eventually, because they know mama ने तो no ही बोलना है, mama will say no only. So be that safe space, be the coach parent, which means that ask them. They are actually, even without asking, they're all the time telling us that this is what I want and this is how I want my things to be. If the room is messy, so be it. Ask them. How would you want your room to look like if your friend was to walk in here right now? How do you think you want to arrange your things? Give them options. Don't give them strict boundaries like, okay, right now do it. That is very difficult for them and very difficult for you, and it just puts us all up for the next stage of conflict. And that is not what we want. We want to connect with them. We want to understand that, okay, the child may be say hungry or tired, and that's why he's come and just thrown the bag there. It's all right. If you also see it the other way, it's just a symbol that the child is there with you, and he has come back from the school, and just the bag is a bag. It's okay. Just give them choices and ask them how they would want it to be. And the first of all, and above everything else, how to receive a no gracefully. You have to check in with yourself. Check in meaning like check in your emotions and everything. How do you feel when they say no to your offer? Whatever it is that you may be offering them, yelling at them, telling them, trying to sell. If they're saying no to you, what does it do to you is my question. And I would like to say have a few voices in the room and understand what does it mean to you when they are saying, how do you take it? How do you take their no? Nina, can we?
Yes, I've just done that. But also one thing I felt is that, sometimes I've also come across
Ma'am?
No, just a minute, where children don't know how to accept a no. And that is also because they have never seen their parents accept the no. So when the no is given to them, they also don't accept it. Unmute yourself. Anubha, you need to unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm saying you've intuited what's coming up. Thank you.
Ma'am?
हाँ जी.
Ma'am, receive का मतलब क्या होता है?
लेना. किसी ने मना किया तो उसको आप कैसे लेते हो? Anybody else wants to share how they feel when whatever it is that you are offering to your child, it could be बैंगन का भरता, लौकी की सब्जी, anything. How do you feel when they say no to your offer?
Yeah, I've been facing this situation. Like every single day, my son refuses to study, and I just don't know what to do. Like how to get through to him and how to. I mean, I've tried to make him understand a lot of times, but he just simply refuses to study. So I just don't know what to do about it.
My God.
Okay. So Chaya, you are still saying what he's doing. When he says no, what do you feel?
Ma'am, I'm Chaya's husband here.
Yeah, he says no.
She's complaining about all of us, ma'am. How do we make her happy? That's the most important thing. She's the life of our house. If she's not happy, no one's happy.
I can understand that. Women are very powerful. You got that right, sir.
And we are 3 boys. Imagine 3 boys. We are always running behind her. Sorry, both of y'all and me, we are 3. So please suggest something to us also. That how do we keep her happy?
I will. So Chaya, will you want to answer this? How do you feel when any of them say no to you?
Not just a session on conscious parenting, is it?
Yeah. So he's always like saying no to everything.
How do you feel?
Yeah, so I feel helpless.
And what does that helplessness do to you?
Right now, I've got pretty detached to it. Like earlier, maybe it affected me, but now it doesn't really affect me too much. I've just got detached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Is
I just
there
let him do what he wants, and I feel like maybe someday he'll realize.
okay? And does anything else also come up?
So I think that only, like, I just don't know how sense will dawn upon him.
Sorry,
That's what
I
I
couldn't.
don't know how sense will dawn upon him. That's what I feel all the time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your sharing, Chaya. I'll get to the next slide with some more insights. And Mona,
Yeah. So,
Vijay.
Anubha, if you stop sharing your screen, we'll be able to see these people as well.
Yeah, okay. I forget. Thank you for reminding. Yes. Yes, who would like to go first, Mona or Vijay? Let's have Mona first and then Vijay.
Mona, you can speak if you want to now.
Okay, so Vijay, you tell me.
Hello. Yeah, ma'am. See,
Yes, can you hear me?
situation will have a. Mona, go on, go on. I'll talk later.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
I can't hear you at all. Okay, I have a teenagers boys, and they don't live with me. I mean, after a certain age, they go to England and they study there. So now for the quarantine and whatever reason, Corona, they are here for like few months with me. They are going to be with me. And I have a challenge that, I mean, I would really like them to use their time in a good way. I know it's too much to ask for it, but I'm asking very little from them. They play their PlayStation till 2 o'clock in the morning, and they wake up in the morning 1 o'clock afternoon. Sorry. So it's like I'm trying to tell them in a nicer way. I try to put them in the health wise, all the aspects I try, but they refuse, and they are saying that all their friends are awake that time only, and they all are playing PlayStation online. I don't know how to get through to them to make them understand that you can do a little bit more than PlayStation. I mean, use a little time for in a better way. So how do I talk to them? And they are in that state now. Everything is like they have blocked themselves. To the moment I open my mouth, they are going to say no, or we are not interested. We don't believe in this.
What does it do to you, Mona?
I think you are muted. I can't hear you at all.
I'm not.
I can't hear you.
Can you check your volumes?
Mona, you have to check your own volume.
If she can hear you, she can't hear me.
Mona, can you hear me?
Hear both of you clearly.
I've sent her a message. I've texted a message, but you go ahead, Anubha.
So the thing is that I am guilty of it, and the thing is that I feel that every moment is a coaching moment. Every moment is not a coaching moment. Every moment is not a telling, yelling, selling moment. We forget that. We try because we get so little, because we get to see them so little. We forget that we are not connecting at that time. That's the biggest thing. So first connect and then correct or whatever it is that you want to give it. Also, I think create boundaries, give them choices. It might work. Otherwise, then you have to just deep dive into yourself and really, really think, what does it do to you? What is it that you are going through at the moment, right? When they are not listening to you, what is it that you feel? And then once you have accepted and are in the awareness of what you are feeling and are able to put your emotions and thoughts and beliefs about them not getting up at 1 o'clock or whatever it is that you are going through at rest, let that wisdom in you speak out to the wisdom in them. It is a
Now I
communication that needs to happen out of love and not as an authority figure. So let's see. Uh, like I say, life is our own laboratory. Let's experiment. Let's see what gets. So Mona, maybe you can see. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. I hope you have not answered my question because I logged in.
I have. So you can get onto the Facebook and check out the answer also. That's another alternative. Otherwise, if we have time in the end, I'll take it up again. Bijal?
Yeah, what I have experienced is, the way I feel is depends altogether on my mood. Sometimes on my own mood. So if I'm like, in a happy mood and if she says something, she is very young right now. She's in grade 3, so I have still some control on her, I feel. Which, I see her as a child, not as a human. So I'm aware, that she is also one individual I have to respect and all that. But sometimes it comes, depends on my mood. So sometimes I'm very flexible, sometimes I'm very authoritarian, I feel. And then I'm doing so, I realize that, no, this is not the right way to talk to her right now. So sometimes I just feel helpless. I leave it the way it is. Then situation is little calm down. I try to speak to her, explain her, and that time she's in a very good mood and say, yeah, mama, even I understand my mistake. Next time I will not do it. She will do nicely and she will say, now are you happy? So and then when I get angry, sometimes I cry also. So it all depends, how you feel internally. Different situation, different time, different expression.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I always say is we do have to speak of the two paradigms, but at no point are we either in this or in this, right? So at no point are you going to be completely in your life with authority or completely conscious. However, if you are now able to see your patterns and you do realize that it is all about your state, I will not call it mood, but I will call it a state. When you are in that state of understanding, that's the best state when you connect with your child. You cannot, if you are in this state, okay, and the child is having a tantrum, that is also not a time when you can connect or you can say anything. That is the time to hold them. That is the time to understand them. That is the time to see the world from their little eyes or their big eyes or whatever. It doesn't matter the age of the child. If they are here and you are here, they will not understand. And similarly, if you were to reverse it, if they are very happy, bright, and in this higher state of mind, you will not be able, and you are very angry, upset about something, you will not be able. Those are not the times to connect. You cannot connect at those times. There is no chance that you have to kind of get across to each other. So both of you, when you are, it's not like it's a ideal situation. There are a lot of times we are all in that state, and when we are in that state of connection, you've just had a game, you've just had a nice session with talking session with them, or a dinner or a picnic or an outing or whatever it is that you do with them. If both of us are in this state, that's when the conversation really happens and they understand. Try it then. That's the time they will really, really, really understand you, and you will really, really understand them. And that, I think, is the, like my son calls it, the coaching moment. That is the coaching moment. That is the moment when we can get our story heard and hear their story as well. It works both ways. It's a relationship. It has to be both ways. Yeah. So do we move on?
Yeah. So at that moment, what should we do? At that moment when they're throwing a tantrum?
That moment when they're throwing a tantrum, all you can do is empathize. All you can do is hold that space, be quiet. That is no time to give any kind of instruction or gyan. Hold them in that space the way you will hold them, hold yourself when you are having a meltdown or 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 a state that you are not very happy with, right? So how you will hold on if you are also, so many times we are also unable to express our own anger correctly. We express it, but we after the point when we, when we pause and think, was I wrong in? I mean, I was so wrong in banging the door and banging the utensils or working out. That's the time we know that we have not expressed what we are feeling in the correct and appropriate way. So when we can give ourselves so many concessions, why not to the child? We have to be first comfortable with our own big emotions. Once we are somewhere there, we understand the emotions are fleeting, thoughts are fleeting, they will come and they will go. There are waves rising in you. You just have to acknowledge that.
Ma'am, if you just let them be, don't you think they'll get spoiled? I mean, especially with a little older child, like a teenager or something.
So again, thanks Bhavna. Again, this question that I get a lot and I reflect a lot on also. The answers are not very straightforward. The solutions cannot be very simple because I myself began on this journey, consciously began on this journey later when he was a little more older. And I feel that again, we have to correct them. It does conscious parenting does not mean letting them be. Conscious parenting is an elevated relationship from what was not. So what we have been doing till now has not been working, or has it? Since that is not working, we raise our own consciousness, and once we start to see things differently, things change. And even if they don't change, you start seeing them differently. You start connecting them with them differently. So it is a tightrope walk, but somebody is to walk it, because we are in fact our main agenda, our main intent in the whole of parenting paradigm, those who are listening here, those who will check it out later, and we just keep going to so many parenting workshops and reading books, because what is the intent? But the basic intent is that we want to remain connected with our children, and we just want to love them. But mothering is not equal to smothering, but that is what unfortunately some of us get into. So it is love and it is connection. How about we keep telling them this? How many times in a day do we tell them that, okay, we love you, we are here for you unconditionally? Whatever you do or not do is not going to make you good or bad. Can we hold that conversation? Can we share our intent with them? And if this is a feeling that you really feel, trust me, Bhavna, and everybody else, children understand the energy of your feelings. They
Yes, I
understand
agree.
that mama is right. That when she says that all my intent is to, or you can, it's not bad to be vulnerable. You can tell them, beta, I fear for you that you are going to, if you're going to jump from the sofa or whatever it is that they are doing. But and keep it to yourself, that what is it that you feel in that moment by their doing something. Don't say you make me feel this, you make me feel bad. Just remain with this, that I feel bad because I'm scared for you, or something like that. So those are the conversations which are very uplifting and connecting in nature.
Thank you.
Yeah. Should we move on? Okay, why am I on the first one? Okay, so here, most of you have answered a lot of this in some, some have used this language, some have not, but this is what happens when we check in and we feel unloved. When our child says, so just to connect with the earlier slide, it is when we are not accepting a no from the child graciously. These are the feelings that come up in us. We feel unloved. we feel rejected, we create stories. We also throw a tantrum, by the way, and we feel threatened. We create a lot of stories of, am I a good parent? Am I a bad parent? And blah, 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 so much of it. So what should we do instead? How do we take the no gracefully? Shuchi, I'll come back to you in a little while. So how do we take this no? So we respect that they have said no. We respect that they are individuals and they will have their own likes and dislikes just like us. We also have our, we don't necessarily like everything that they like or dislike everything that they dislike, right? So we all have our own likes and dislikes, and trust their wisdom. Okay, trust their wisdom and yours. So it all begins with me, is what I keep saying to myself and to everyone. It begins with me. When I trust my wisdom, I will trust their wisdom. After all, they have the same God spark in them as us, right? When we respect our own boundaries, we will respect their boundaries. So no snooping. If you're respecting your boundaries and you don't like them looking into your phone, no, don't snoop in theirs either. Like, trust them. One day, and if it is out of connection and everything, get to it, right? You will get to that great space where you will not have to do these things to understand your child. You will know your child because your child will come and tell you. And honor your authenticity and honor theirs. And remember that we are not conscious parenting is not like washing our hands off our children. It is actually an elevated space from where we are parenting. And it is about developing a longer, lasting, connected, empathetic, compassionate relationship, which is completely, again, if one thing more that you can take from this entire conversation is that remember common sense and respect, mutual respect. That is what drives it. And now is time to understand how to be. There was earlier what to do, now it's how to be. You have to remember, we are all spirits, right? Like in our affirmation, during, after, and so many other times. We have this affirmation that we keep saying, I'm not the body, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my body, I'm not my emotions. I am that I am. We know it, and a lot of us speak it also. But do we truly live it? That's the question. That's the question we should reflect on. How am I living this? Of course, in the world of duality, you need the form and the formless both, because it's through the form that you get to the formless. But do we forget the formless at times when we are in form and doing so many other things? And do we kind of layer it? That's the inner core, right? Like, we are all souls, and you have to remember that you are bigger than and beyond all your roles as a mother. You may be a mother, a teacher, a professional, anything, but you are still so much bigger than just those roles. And understanding also, sometimes when no happens, we feel that the other person is rejecting me or whatever it is, and we are not getting approval from others. Also, we feel that what is happening. These are all conditioned behaviors, these are all learned behaviors, and they can be unlearned. That's the good news. So, remaining with this fact that nobody, no other person can truly know who I am. What others are seeing is just a version of me, and what they say is their opinion. And in fact, if you were to go even a layer deeper, when I have an opinion about anybody, it tells more about me than the person I'm opining on. So it is all their perception. We have to completely accept and love ourselves fully and unconditionally. Once we do that, things become so much more easy. it does, okay, again, so it does not mean that I'm not going to be working on myself, but it means that I will work with what I have in this moment and then elevate my game, then transform myself. I cannot be bashing myself that I at this moment I cannot. I'm an ever changing, ever evolving, ever developing human. Learning will not stop, development will not stop, right? If I put myself in labels, I am like this only. That is where I see more problem. So most important, if you have to do one inner work in your life, that is what you think, what you feel, and what you do. The head, heart, and the hand needs to be in alignment, and not all the time. And it's the most difficult thing, and I think that should be the cornerstone of our inner work. That is all that there is to it. Now, after having shared so much about the layers and all everything, I would like to tell you that the good news is that we all have this as innateness, this inner love, peace, resilience, the state of which I would like to call it the state of well-being, is all built into each one of us. So the good news is nobody is broken. We are all enough. I am enough and they are enough. And it is like factory settings. You come with that factory setting. Innateness is not something that can be taken away from you or given to you. You have it. And that core, when our stories pause for a minute, when our thoughts go away, when our environmental conditioning, even the even when we transcend like our own sex, whether we are a male or female, when that happens, we have touched that state of innateness. And most of the time that happens with meditation, mindfulness, you do have that state. And meditation is also a state. It is not something, it's not like a goal that you need to achieve. It's a state where you dip into this well-being of yourself. And let's come to this now and see that, if you've ever noticed, I'm not talking about the older kids right now. I'll speak about the little ones, the really little ones. How resilient they are. Have you seen? They don't have this fear. What if I fall if I'm walking? When they're walking, they're running, they're climbing up the sofas, they're jumping, they're getting hurt, and they're doing it all over again. They're resilient. They don't have the fear. They don't think, oh, I fell down and now I will never learn how to walk. I will not get up from my bed. No, they just do it. It's inbuilt in them. They will run, shout, scream, do whatever, get hurt, cry, have their emotional moment, and then be back again. They are resilient. They are resilient. They forgive so fast. You have scolded them, they will again after 2 minutes peep in. Mama is okay. Mama is happy, and they've forgiven. They don't have to go through a forgiveness session to forgive you or forgive themselves. If they've made a mistake, they've made it and they've moved on. And that is the joy that they all the time continuously they dip into. They unabashedly express and feel their emotions. They don't care where they're crying, where they're sitting, what they're doing. And they will easily come to ask for and receive help. They will not think, oh, what if I ask for help and she says no? They will come to you. They will just say this is what they need help with, and they will extract that help from you. Whatever you may be doing, they will coax you and do these things. What happens really when we grow up? All of that conditioning, all of that learned behavior, that is what happens. The core here is to understand that this innateness is present in all of us. It is what we are born with. We have it, our kids have it, and everybody has it. All we need to do is nurture it, nourish it, and rediscover it. We are all on a path of rediscovering that innateness in us, whether it is a conscious parenting paradigm or leadership or conscious human being, whatever it is that we want to evolve as is actually just a rediscovery of that innateness. It's just like it's like the tree. It's like a seed that you plant, and you just give it the correct environment. You give it the correct conditions, and it will just blossom. Right? So it is happening from inside out. It is happening not from outside in. When it is outside in, for example, if you keep tilling the soil to check, oops, now how much has my plant grown? Now how much? Oh, but I wanted it to grow in this direction and not in this direction. That is when the problem happens. That is when it will not grow. So we are all like that seeds that we have within ourselves. If you just want to understand it like that. And what brings us to the center is mindfulness and meditation. We cannot forget we are one system. We cannot forget that uh, we are one system of body, soul, mind, heart, everything that you can think of. We are one system. So we cannot ignore our spiritual side or say that it is for later ages or whatever it is that some of us think. So it is a moment-to-moment negotiation, mindfulness and meditation. And yeah, so now I'll come to meditation on twin hearts that most of all of pranic healers do. And Nina has this running from Monday to Friday at 8:30 a.m. Anybody can join. It's a beautiful, beautiful meditation. We meditate on twin hearts and we bless everybody and we bless the earth, and it has made a world of difference to me. It is in these meditative moments that you really actually touch that state of well-being that we were just talking about a little while ago. And I think here it is. So what will happen now next time when you have to say yes to no? So these are just some of the reflective questions that I invite you to either jot down, take a screenshot, or revisit it. And just know that, it is not a rejection of you as a human being. You are much larger than what you are offering. So if it is, I'll just take that example because in my house I had taken that example with my son. So Bengan ka bharta, if I have made, whether I've made it with love or gussa, it doesn't matter. Bengan ka bharta, if he doesn't want to eat and he's rejecting it on the table, is not a no to me. It is not a no to me. I need to remember that all the time. If my boss has not liked the presentation and has asked me to rework on it, it's not a no to me. If my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my spouse or any relationship has said no to whatever it is that I am offering to them in that moment, it is not a no to me. It is no to my offer. And if we keep these two things separate, it has really, really helped me a lot. I was always very scared of doing a lot of things because I used to feel that what if they say no? And I have become very quick in asking and receiving both help, no. I say no also, which has also liberated me, by the way, from a lot of patterns that I was into earlier. And if you remember this, it is actually, for me, it has transformed me a lot. And these questions are, how do you think if you take that as a no to the offer, how do you think that will be? What will it change for you? What will it change for your children? What will it do to your self-worth? What will the impact be in the way you are approaching people or the people are approaching you? How will you evolve? What will you become when you start to receive and say no with equanimity and without any tension and with gracefully? We are the models for our children. Remember that it all begins with me. Yeah, and no, like our President Abdul Kalam used to say, is just next opportunity. And next opportunity to connect, okay, if it is no to the offer from the son or the child or the daughter. It is just the next opportunity that we look into and we connect. And it is just the right time for each one of us to begin. Don't have to bash ourselves. We didn't begin early. We didn't. Whenever you begin is the right time. And thank you, all of you, for listening and infusing the entire room with your beautiful energy, your questions. Like I say, whenever I do these, I so get more insights into my own behavior as well. And thank you so much. And I would just now like to open up for question and answers, and also will be great if you can share what your biggest takeaway has been.
Okay, someone's message, I'll read it out. If you have to send out a chat, it has to be sent. So, Anubha, you have touched upon some very important points to make us a better person and thus a better parent. Thank you so much. Would love it if you did a session for teens as well. So that's already, there you are, Anubha. We already have another talk coming up.
Thank you. Thank you.
I, in fact, wanted to just share a quick thing. Just one second. So you can please unmute yourself and, ask for anyone who needs to ask for, well, you can also stay in touch with all the sessions that we do. There are a lot of sessions that we do. There are two pages. One is a page that I have. We are there on Facebook. We are there on Insta. Those of you who want to, you can just follow us there and stay updated on all our sessions. And in the meantime, just, if you want, I'll leave this. You can take a screenshot of this as well that she had shared earlier on. In the meantime, if there are any questions, please go on. I think one very important takeaway for this whole thing is that it's always about us. It's always about reflecting constantly on why we are doing what we are doing, why we are saying what we are saying, why we are reacting the way that we are reacting to anything that anyone does, not just children, but any person. It always comes back to the one important thing is why. And that starts helping us, like you said, detach that it's not about me, it's about what I have to offer. So maybe the person doesn't need what I'm having to offer. And having said that, of course, at times you do have to put your foot down, because children do need to learn to accept no's as well. It's part of a very important, I call it the vitamin N, like I shared with you earlier on. I call it absolutely the administration of vitamin N. It is required at times, not just with children, with others, even with adults. At times we have to have those healthy boundaries and say, no, it's not going to happen, or something like that. So please go on. Anyone else, if you have questions. I'm really grateful to Anubha for taking out this time and sharing with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm open to questions. We can take a question or two if anybody has something to share.
So there's more comments. Takeaway: it's never too late. Start now. Parenting is not a spirit, rather is not a sprint, rather is a marathon. I need to work more on myself. Keep working. Takeaway: nurture children school level. Yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am, is there a certain age till which we can guide our children? The guidance, I mean, like an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old. So, I mean, if you think, like, suppose the 12-year-old is always on the phone. So, is there a way we can, like you mentioned that they follow by examples, but we can't help but being on the phone sometimes. So, how do we deal with the situation of watching TV and being on the phone? Because we also do that all the time.
Absolutely. Modeling.
Yes,
model, be the change that you want to be. Seeing in your kids. Also give a consistent, I also One very important thing when we are saying a no to our child is also to remain consistent. Don't use it loosely. We use no for everything. Don't go here, don't do this, don't do that, da 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 da, no, 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 no. All the time it's no. Okay, give them choices. Also, don't use no loosely. Try to use alternative words. It's difficult. You have to catch yourself, but then that's being conscious, right? Your awareness. Once you get into that habit of catching yourself, your no's will be respected.
Thank you.
And no, Bhavna, there is no age in which you cannot be a guide, philosopher to your or friend to your child. Your children gives you, your children give you first opportunity, then your grandchildren will give you another opportunity to be the conscious grandparent, and it goes on. It goes on.
They are little, I mean, as they grow older, they are more stubborn, as in they have a mind of their own, isn't it? Like that. I mean,
They have a mind of their own right from the time they are born, right? So how do we negotiate the mind of their own and our understanding of what we want from them, and how to let them be authentic? That's the journey. They are they are individuals. If we look at them like that with their own likes and dislikes,
yes,
that is important.
Thank you.
Okay, Shuchi, you can use your question now. You can unmute. She says her son is 13 years and plays a lot of aggressive games like PUBG, and he's getting very aggressive, doesn't listen, not when he's asked not to play.
So compassion, empathy, a lot of aggression, and playing aggressive games, and probably also showing aggression when you are talking to him. Connect not when both of you are like this. Connect when both of you are in that moment of connection. I know that it is not that you will not have that moment. You will. How do you manage your own emotions when he's playing it? That's important. How do you connect with him? How would you empathize with this aggression that he is displaying? How do you channel his anger? All of these things keep on top of your mind, and remember it will again and again come back to what you are doing and what is in your control, and how you can effectively, with empathy, connecting to them, how you can handle this. First yourself and then them. First yourself, always.
And if I have permission to add one more thing, I don't know if Shuchi, you are already, I don't know if you are a pranic healer or if you've done the courses, but there are some classes that can really help you tackle this, because a lot of things are energy. So when you're saying a child is playing a game, that is a certain kind of energy that child has an affection for, or this thing. And learning how to deal and learning how energy works, you can actually, as a parent, change that energy. And that is really taught in some of the workshops that we have. Also, like Anubha has mentioned a lot of times, when you take, for example, the Achieving Oneness with a Higher Soul workshop, that is a transformational workshop. Again, it's an entry level workshop. It will give you, I think, some solution to what you're trying to say. So if you've not already done that workshop, whenever the workshops start again, right now most places are not holding the workshops because of COVID. That is one workshop I recommend to everyone. When people say pranic healing, people think it's only about healing, but there's a lot.
The soul realization.
Yes.
I've done.
So just go back to the book. I would suggest go back to the book then. If you've done the workshop, you can go back to the book, and part of the answer you find over there.
Okay, ma'am. But sometime I got helpless, ma'am. बिल्कुल नहीं सुनता है, ma'am. Rather, I told him कि आपको बहुत aggression हो जाता है, इससे वो और aggressive हो जाता है कि आप ऐसे क्यों बोलते हो, like आपको लगता है कि game से हो रहा है, but game से नहीं हो रहा है, and I know कि game से ही होता है ये. He used to play 2 to 3 hours and don't listen to me at all. and like मैंने प्यार से भी समझा लिया है, then गुस्से से भी, like every, like I've tried every way, but I'm really helpless now. How to tackle him now?
And one more thing that you can do is, like I said, if you have done the classes, you can actually heal. There are healings for addictions, if it is an addiction to start with.
Yeah, addiction will need careful handling, and most importantly, first of all, be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
When you are kind to yourself, that don't think I have gone wrong, or he's not listening to me, or this is happening. Keep doing your work from the space of connectedness and empathy, and just be kind. Just be kind.
Main reason is they are not busy, ma'am. Actually, no tuitions, no schools, all time at home. I think this is the reason.
I understand. It's not easy. It's
I
not
know,
easy, but it's not impossible either. It's not easy. We have to become the safe space for their emotions. So how do you teach a 2-year-old is, again, if she's angry, just be with her, just connect with her, and just keep talking to her. They listen more, like Nina just said, we are all energy beings, and nobody.
Ma'am, I'm not able to hear you.
So most of you can hear me. Can you just raise your hands? Okay. So I lost what I was saying. So yeah, so the thing is to keep connecting with them and understanding what if they are, just have a safe space for her to express her anger. We all have anger in ourselves. It's just how we express it makes it good or bad. No emotion is bad, no emotion is worthless. Everything is there for a reason. So anything else?
Now we are already over time. We'll take maybe 1 or 2 more queries, and then we can close the session. 2 last questions.
Yeah.
Sangeeta says, my teen boys have grown. I've been conscious in giving them space to grow and guide them, but leave them to decide. However, I tend to have a sense of resentment. Is that correct?
Where does this sense of resentment coming from? Why do you have the sense of resentment? Is it because you feel that you've lost control or something like that? I don't know. We can have a conversation on this, but I would not be able to give saying yes, or I mean, is resentment anyway correct in anything that we do? There's a lot of check-in required, Sangeeta. I understand that you are going through this emotion, but there is a lot of checking in required. Just see where and what makes you whatever it is that you are feeling right now. Joy and well-being, state of well-being, joy, inner peace, these are our default settings. We can dip in any time that we want. Once we become regular meditators, Nina will tell you how quickly it is to radiate that peace. Just look at her glowing. I love how she glows, right? Like, and you can figure that out. Like, just get into a mindful, and mindful is not just remaining mindful of what is happening around me physically, also internally. Be mindful of your own emotions. Keep questioning yourself. Deep dive into it. Keep doing the inner work. Keep thinking again. Like I said, if there is one inner work that you must do and you have to do, or if you want to do, get into inner work. Just remember what you think, what you say, and what you do. That is the only alignment that is required. That is the only thing that is required. I see Nina nodding her head.
One last question, and that what is the suggestive age in the current times to give them the independence of handling their own phones or internet access? Very good question, I think. by Nidhi.
What is the suggestive correct age?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is again, again, like I tell everybody, and I will tell you also, it is a tool. If even the preschoolers are actually right now going online classes and all of that, they are doing it right. I have so there is I cannot say what is the correct age. Actually, every age is correct. They are born in the age of internet. How can we remove internet from their life? We only have to create some boundaries. Everything is a tool, and it's a beautiful tool. It is through the internet that we are talking. It's on a screen that we are seeing each other right now and remaining connected. It's a beautiful tool, but how we are using it, that makes us good or bad. Just like anything else, like fire, like sex, like food, anything else, like just like anything else, treat it as a tool, and you will know. The wisdom in you will tell you when how much they need at this age, or whatever age your children are at right now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I think that was a fabulous session, and Anubha, I already have some more sessions in my mind for you. So, there's always so much, so nice to learn, so many things to learn from you each time. So, my favorite quote for Anubha is "Batti jalna." Meri bhi batti jal jaye. So I've known Anubha as a student many years ago, and I think I'm becoming her student slowly also now.
Oh my God, we learn and we teach and we do it all over again. Thank you so much, Dina. Thank you, each one of you, for your amazing energies in the room. And if she's decided that she wants to do another session with me, there's no way I'm going to get out of I can weave my way out of it. So we are going to be doing another session, and I welcome you all to come and share your journey from here to the next session.
Yes, thank you so much. Also, to let everyone know, tomorrow we have another excellent speaker, and we have another great session, which is called Success. And it's just amazing how I hadn't planned it like this, by the way. I can see that a lot of what Anubha has said today is going to flow into that session tomorrow. So there's this thin line, and our speaker is Vaibhav. He's a colleague, he's a pranic healing trainer from Mysore. So again, the session is going to be in the evening. Details are there on our Facebook page. I recommend that people join in, because a lot of what you said, Anubha, it's going to actually beautifully be carried into that tomorrow. It's amazing how things connect. So that's that. So thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining in, and God bless everyone.